I just plain don't want to be drunk anymore. I was drinking almost every day since I was 15 to 45 years old, and not at high levels when I was a teenager, and I was always active. So I sweat a lot of stuff out. But I had so much fun. I went to so many parties and so many bars and met so many people from drinking, and said things to myself like a Winston Churchill quote that Keith Richards later used. I've taken more from alcohol than alcohol's ever taken from me. And I look back and admiring that saying and expression, and I think, wow, that sounds like a real alcoholic type shit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like, yeah, deny. But I mean, I understand that quote because you can experience really poetic, beautiful things from going out and having drinks and going to dive bars. I did. I wrote about them. I lived them. It was fucking awesome. You know what I mean? But because I did that and had so many of those nights, I was like, I'm good. I'm good, And I don't say that in a cocky way. I'm just like, man, you should, come on. Like, that's how I would say to myself. I'd be like, like, we did this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to be happy. Like, what? Why are you still going back to the bodega and grabbing 3 bottles? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Yeah. So it took 45 years of living to be like, enough.
What was different from this time and then the other times where you said, I think 3 months, 6 months, something like that, you tried and then you went back to it, but this time you're clean and it seems like you're good to go. I know you're still working every day and you're
Yeah.
still cautious with it.
Yes.
But what do you think is different this time around?
I think what's different is that I say a lot this statement. Being older and having lived through so much, I'm like, I've seen that, and I've seen that sober. I've seen it drunk. What was different is, I mean, I did feel a couple times in life pain in my lower back, and was very concerned about my liver and my kidneys, and later, after the first year, I did get a bunch of blood tests and everything was good. I did take a lot of precautions. I guess not precautions. I did a lot to hopefully correct the damage I may have, and not may have, did do for my blood, and my liver and kidneys by eating a lot of things that can help cleanse you. I ate a lot of walnuts, a lot of beets and kale and raw garlic, right? So, the difference was that, yeah, I'm just able to say to myself, where this goes. That if you want to have a glass of red wine with spaghetti and meatballs, you're going to have a bottle a couple days later, because that's what happened every time in the last 30 years. So that's what was different. I was sick of it. And I was an addict. I was like addicted to alcohol, and that's whack. I mean, I went past fun and socializing to needing it.
Did you always have that thought of one day it's going to be no more?
I thought I would probably be able to drink some glasses of wine with dinner for the rest of my life. I did. And proclaiming that you're an alcoholic is a big thing, because you know what? I mean, I don't know how scientifically you could test if you're actually an alcoholic, or, but I mean, I have my own examples that I had to go review and be like, this happened again. You went back to it this time. You went back after this wedding. You got blacked out at this wedding. You got like blacked out at this Cure concert at Madison Square Garden. You did this. You did, like, what is that? That's the track record of someone who has problems with alcohol, aka an alcoholic. I don't think it is something that is an excuse for my behavior to then go, yeah, well, check it out, everybody. I was just a plain alcoholic. So pardon me for all the things I did and said, It doesn't work like that either. However, I mean, because you were screwed up and drunk, you did make stupid choices. And that's part of AA, which I don't go to AA, but I think it's wonderful. Did I see it as, drinking as part of me, a persona, or part of a persona? No. On tour, I always like to try to somewhat hide it from the young kids. Now, the kids that are 15 and 16 and at demos and they're already smoking weed and rolling joints in the parking lot all around you, they know what's up. I'm not trying to hide it from them. Also, I'm not trying to glorify it to them, you know? So, I never used it as part of my image
Mm-hmm.
to be a drinker. But I will say, living in San Francisco and hanging out with Jake Phelps and Mickey Ray's and people in that world of skating in the Mission District, I mean, if you could hang and drink and not get kicked out of the bar or get everyone kicked out of the bar or not barf in a taxi or skate home without getting a concussion, I never wanted to do those things to prove my heroic drinking abilities to anyone. But if you could get through all that and the next day go skate and rip, everybody was like, that's what's up. That dude, I mean, more usually a dude, I'm talking about myself. We could use Dennis Rodman, that's an example of somebody that was just wild and would play hungover and play great. Um, I've talked about that before. And so there was a different way of drinking for everyone in for me in my skating career and what was around me. It was like rock and roll. It's really similar being in the tour van and needing to go to sleep and crushing a 12-pack to go to sleep. It was normal for a lot of people. And when you're young, you can do that. I don't encourage it, but you can crush a 12. I mean, I'm Norwegian, Irish, and alcoholism's in my family. It's not funny. It's not cute, but it takes a lot to put me down. So
It is interesting you say that you wouldn't glorify it to the younger generation, because myself being part of that younger generation, I didn't see you as like a drinker or party or skateboarder. I didn't really think of you from like the videos I would see. That wasn't what like the bell didn't ring in my brain of like as a little kid like, oh, he does that. You know what I mean? I didn't really think about that. I just saw like, oh, like sick skateboarder, cool. Like I fuck with this, but this isn't like the party side, if that makes any sense. And now it was almost like when you did decide to, commit to trying to be clean and all of that, I was like, oh wow, I had no idea. Maybe I wasn't following like as closely as I could have been, but that is an interesting thought. I was wondering what, of course this has been a lifelong path for you to be able to do this and be where you're at today. What uh what pained you about that habit and addiction that made you want to go through the other pain, which is like stopping and being honest with yourself and being able to speak about it this openly?
the reason I decided to stop is because I don't think, yeah, you might not get it. You certainly don't get another brain. You know what I mean? If you believe in reincarnation, cool. I don't believe or disbelieve in it. I don't know. I've never died. So I don't know. Right. But I like to think that this brain, this spirit, this personality, man, this is it. What we live and what we see when I die and whatever, 40 years from now or something. I don't know. Um, the world will be different. And so why continue to be, out to lunch half the time when I'm only going to live this life this one time. It's going to, tomorrow the world's going to be different. Uh, I guess that's the best way I could describe it, is that who I am and the things that I've experienced, uh, I'm only going to get to see this shit once. So I was like, man, you've been pickling yourself for a big chunk of this time because you were unhappy. And now you told everybody like who you are, and so be happy, you know? Cause I mean, I don't know if I live with actual depression, but I was just bummed out, man, not being able to talk about who I am and what I'm into, from being in the closet. you know.
Yeah. How much of drinking do you think was tied with being in the closet, or were they kind of separate?
I think I think I would have drank. Well, I don't know, man. Jeez, if I was born heterosexual, I don't know, cis, whatever you want to call it. I think I probably would have drank a lot still. Yeah, because I'm me. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoy the flavor, the taste of beer. I enjoy wine. I enjoy the taste of tequilas and vodkas and whiskey. I like the flavor of all those things. I really enjoyed them. I mean, drank them excessively where you gasp and take a shot and stuff. But I enjoyed that stuff. I like all kinds of foods and flavors. So I think I probably would have drank because it's in that the genes a little bit. Yeah, maybe it's the Irish Norwegian. I don't know.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I noticed a few times when we were talking about the alcohol you talk about, even in the last episode, we talked about like you using it to, I think you use like, you might have said regulate your feelings or something about like working with your feelings is one part of the alcohol. And so I figured that, having to hide a significant part of yourself from
Hmm.
all of the people around you was just like deeply intertwined with that.
Yeah, it was definitely. And when I was 14, I was scared that maybe something would slip out if I drank. So I was really careful the first few times I drank. And then I got good and drunk and didn't say anything. And, you know, I'm not into people my age. So I didn't, really try to mess with any of my dude friends. You know what I mean? Like, so once I realized I could drink and I wasn't going to say anything, I was like, oh, yay, cool. Uh, and I enjoy it. Yeah. I mean, you're in a van. I'm 6'4". You know what I mean? There's that part of it too. It's an uncomfortable life. It's fun as hell, but we're back there in economy, seat 47Z. Uh, keep them coming.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you said though earlier about me not portraying myself and putting my drinking on the map, part of me go ahead and call myself the alcoholic that's in me. I would want to slip under the radar, man, because I would want to get served on those flights. So I didn't want to be known necessarily. My friends knew how much I drank, but I wanted to be able to keep drinking on the flight and when I get off the flight and at the trade show and in the lobby and at the lobby bar and everywhere. So I would be wasted, but I would try my hardest to keep it tight.
Yeah.
And that's some alcoholic shit.
Yeah.
Or just some drinker stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. I think about what it must be like to be younger and ride for like the ill company of the time or one of the ill companies of the time. In your case, Toy Machine.
Mm.
And then the ill company comes out with like the influential video of that era. You know what I mean? And then you're in it and your part's not like your part's one of the parts in it where it's a kind of a big deal and people still talking about it to this day. And the style of freedom and lifestyle that probably comes with that because you have a little bit of money and you're a skateboarder and you're just traveling the world with your friends. That paired with like now knowing more about your life as the years pass and like things have surfaced of like, oh yeah, like I had this problem or like I was hiding this and all these things were happening. What was that like because I'm assuming during Toy Machine era and you're touring and stuff, you're already drinking, but at that point maybe you felt like it wasn't an issue. Did you feel like that?
Um, I I wasn't ever concerned about myself. I think a few times Ed was concerned uh because I would drink a lot of beer. But again, being young and eating, I ate a lot of food always too, so I would balance out my buzz. And I wasn't buying, crazy drugs or anything. Luckily, I wasn't. I never went down some crazy path of skating and getting like crazy narcotics and skating, and then being lost and hiding out for months at a time, So, but back in the day, Toy Machine, yeah, again, we were in this van, living out of this van, and gas stations have beer. Um, yeah, there was a couple times where, I just drank a lot at night to go to sleep, really. It's staying in Huntington Beach and staying at Ed's house and walk to 7-Eleven and get probably a 12 pack and a couple of 22s of Heineken and then put that in my room. I don't know. I wasn't worried about it then because I would wake up, I wouldn't drink when I woke up, and then I would keep it chill. And sometimes I would smoke more weed than drink, you know, and get really into that and cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was pretty balanced. It just, yeah, it got bad in my 30s more in San Francisco, and then here moving to New York. In the winter and growing up in New England, and there's plenty, I don't know, family members. It's everywhere.
Yeah. What about the lifestyle that being a pro at that age afforded you, or how were you living?
Oh, I was just going skateboarding every day, living in San Francisco, and I was doing Xavier after action, and you know, helping run that, and still touring and still doing demos and still being on time for my flights, never missing flights. And again, yeah, drinking in the airport bar and just being damn ready when I landed. I had always had grip tape and like 8 boards and wheels and sneakers, and I'm good at packing, and I was ready. So that's what you would call a functioning alcoholic, right? Later. But yeah, man, any band, everybody's living that way.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't want to embarrass themselves when they're up on stage, right? And I would make sure that I would do a damn good demo. Not like, that's right, bitch. Like, I wanted to skate good, I don't have that personality like, watch this.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to let these kids down whose parents took them from whatever town to this demo. It's easy to not remember that and forget that all these people here at this demo drove from wherever. A lot of them, their parents took them. So give them a good show,
Yeah. So how you feeling? How you feeling today? It's been 4 years and a few months. You have a bunch of shit going on.
Yeah.
You just came out with this documentary. You
Yeah.
got some boards here.
Yeah.
You got a lot of shit going on. So how you feeling today?
Yeah, good. I'm not sick of talking about drinking, but we've all heard me talk about it. I'm doing really good today. It is August 19th, 2025. And let's see. We just turned Nick Matthews pro on Anti-Hero, and that was really fun in Chicago. It was really fun keeping that from him. And he thought he was just filming this part, and he didn't understand why he had such a short time period to film this part. And oh man, Gus had a lot longer, and Nick's not a complainer. I don't mean to speak for you, Nick. So it was, I can say it's funny because he rips and he destroyed it. He did some insane tricks and lines and stuff. So that was really cool. Yeah, I'm wearing a Baker hat. I went to Los Angeles with Alyssa to record with Ed Templeton and Lance for the documentary, and we stopped by the Baker bootleg. Baker Death Wish. I say bootleg? Yeah. Jesus, I am getting older. And yeah, thanks for the hat, y'all. Let's see. That was really fun. Things with Anti-Hero are so rad. The other night, Nick Matthews' brother Blake texted me, and I was finishing my day. I didn't open it. A couple hours went by, and I was doing a million things. And then my friend Mike Hakula, the photographer, he texted me. I said, okay, Mike's texting me, Blake. And so I say this with such excitement because I got a new Anti-Hero ad. I got a photo with Mike. And what happened was Julian put Nick's ad in the new Thrasher, and then you turn the page and it's my ad right after his, both Mike Hakula's photos. I hope I'm not slaughtering your last name, Mike. And And Nick also has a Spitfire ad in the same issue.
Hmm.
So that was really exciting in the last couple of days. Uh, and I know what I can only imagine what it feels like for Nick to be pro, you know. And shout out to Cody Chapman too. You know, he deserves it and was already pro and came over to Anti-Hero. And Grant Taylor said if he's going to be pro, he's got to make a part. And Cody made a part, and then Julian gave him a board in Los Angeles in late May. So yeah, haha. Even though I'm wearing this Baker hat, I'm so psyched, man. I love Anti-Hero. You know, I mean everybody that's been there so long, and there's so many veterans, and you know, there's so many pro skateboarders these days, and skateboarding's struggling. Skate shops are struggling. So I mean, I don't think there's anything bad about turning people who really deserve it pro. You know, I'm not saying like all these other people don't deserve it, but you might think, oh, the industry's crowded or flooded or something. It's like, I don't know. I take pride in being healthy and still skateboarding and doing my job, which I love. You know, it is a job, but it doesn't really feel like one to me necessarily. And so, you know, I'm proud. I'm proud of Anti-Hero and Finn Pope and Gus Gordon. You know, I'm not trying to name drop. I'm just telling you what's up. You know, these people that I get to skate with and become friends with and travel. It's awesome. You know, everybody. You know, Chris Fanner and Rainey and Doobie and Trujillo. You know, we still have a Grosso board. I mean, and Cardiel and everyone. You know, what I mean, Austin Kenfouche and you know Robbie Russo even and Gerwer and Hewitt and it's like Trujillo, myself, Julian, and so you know Div. I mean all these people and God, if I didn't fire off everyone that's pro, it's just I might remember at the last second. No, but so I'm psyched, you know. I have a whole bunch of footage right now. I know I've said that a lot in the past, like, oh, I want to make a part, but I have a great timeline going. I can
Really?
safely say,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go.
with Blake Matthews,
Let's go.
yeah, and my friend Rye Gray from England. I was filming with Rye this summer, and a good new friend of mine, James Woodley. I met him on the Anti-Hero tour we did in the UK. He drove the van that I was in. He's also sober. So, and I love skating with Mike Hakula and Ben Colin, all kinds of people in New York. You know, Rich Rizzo. I love skating with him more recently. I did a little in the pandemic. So yeah, man. I mean, you see, I'm excited. You know.
Yeah, you still get that same feeling
Yeah, because
when you see the ad. When you see you get an ad, you still feel like there's you're not like, oh well, of course I get an ad. I know that like I ride for this company. I know that I've been I've been skater of the year already. I know that you still feel the appreciation. So you don't feel like you still feel like you're like a little kid again. Like damn, I got an ad in Thrasher. I got an ad for Anti-Hero. I got this.
yeah, I'm not saying not little kid. I'm just saying what I will say is that because I came from a time before social media, uh, even though people don't purchase magazines as much as they used to be able to hold one and even to open it and take a photo and look at that photo on your phone, it's different than just seeing a photo on your screen that's not in a magazine. And so I hope that stays with people and they realize, you know, how rad it is holding an actual magazine and taking it home, or whether it's sitting on your coffee table or next to the toilet, you know, they're rad. So I because I came from that time where it was, that's where you were, that's where you showed people what you're doing was in magazines or videos. It's really important for me to still have at least one Anti-Hero ad a year. There's been years where I didn't, and this year I had one so far. No, I had two this year, I think, and one last year with Gus. Or I had one. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's exciting because also just visually for me, I love seeing what Julian Stranger does with the ad layouts. I love working for the photo that day and seeing what the photographer is going to do, knowing that there are double page ads for Antihero. So there's all kinds of levels of excitement and enthusiasm with going to shoot something that'll hopefully become an ad. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's the fun of being in it so long.
Yeah, it's like a whole project going down behind it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this last photo, I still need surgery in my foot, and I ordered my old shoe, the Project BA, off eBay, and I still have a bunch of pairs, but I found a bunch of brand new ones, and my foot is just hurting me, and it's okay, Um, but I could skate in Dunks, I could skate in Leo Baker's shoe, but I can't really wear Stefan's shoe anymore. It's dope,
What's
but
wrong with your foot?
I cracked this bone in it like over a decade ago. I'm sure of it, and that's not some like tough guy shit, but um, to open it up and check it out and have it you know, constructed or shaved down, I would be out for probably a year.
Mm.
And right now, I'm so used to it that I'd rather not do that. I made this joke before, like Keith Richards' knuckles, when he plays guitar, they're just all like popped out, and he can still play. He can still do his songs. So I can still play my songs and with my foot the way it is. But anyway, it was fun. I wore this jersey that I designed for Nike SB. And I'm proud of that hockey jersey that I did. As a matter of fact, when I was getting speed to try the trick, at the Brooklyn Banks is where the trick was shot, where I did the trick for the ad. And these two guys are walking by, and this dude's staring at me. He's like, "What jersey is that?" And I'm like, "It's mine." No, he thought it was a obscure hockey team or something. So yeah, going out and shooting the photo, and in that case, I wanted to have that shirt just because I'm proud of what I created, and I wanted to remind people, of things I've done in the past. And I'm not spiraling here, but I'm going to follow that with things go so fast now that you do kind of have to remind people of things that you've done. I think,
Yeah.
to remind people that what you're capable of. So that's part of the reason I wore that jersey. And my shoes also, I'm very proud of them.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, skateboarding and your work in it in your lifetime and have given you so much. And it's
Yeah,
just this
thank
like
you,
revolving
skateboarding.
door. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm super grateful. And I think sometime when if I slow down ever in some winters, I might be on social media more, but that's something I'd like to talk about is I, I like to be out skating, and I like to keep my body ready to skate unless I'm injured. Right now, I rolled my ankle in Chicago
Mm.
while after Nick went pro.
Yeah.
So I have like at least a month I'm not going to skate on my right ankle. Um, so I used to do Instagram a little bit more, and but I found myself wanting to skate so much in the last 2 years. So that's just my focus.
Yeah. So when your ankle is hurt or when you're hurt, what are you occupying your time with for the most part?
Well, now I have to catch up from traveling. So I have bags that I'll take the dirty laundry out and do that. But then it's on to the next project.
Hmm.
So backpack will remain partially uh, broken down. And then I'll take stuff that I'm currently using, my sketchbook, which is like my computer basically, and remix backpack and my backpack. And being a New Yorker, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, I ride the subway. I don't drive that often. I mean, I drive all the time, but but so I'm gonna catch up on all kinds of things.
Nice.
Archiving zines. People give me zines. People give me T-shirts when I travel. Here's something from our skate shop. Here's some stickers, and I try to keep all those things, man.
Yeah.
I don't like to just throw it over. I mean, eventually maybe I'll give something to a relative, but people give me tons of stuff when I travel. So I get home and it's like
Yeah.
the bag just falls, all the stickers and zines and all this cool shit falls out of my bag. So what I'll be doing while I'm hurt is I play guitar in the last 2.5 years, and I'm just starting to really try and memorize the fretboard and all the notes.
Dope.
So I just drew myself a physical map on a piece of cardboard from my box of Jessup. And I just put it next to the neck of my guitar and wrote all the notes. So I have my own flashcard map.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dope. What's up with these boards here?
Oh, these boards?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this first board,
I can bring them up for you if it's easier.
well, if you don't mind, I'll do them like one at a time.
Yeah.
And I'll try to do a little. Oh, you're going to pass them to me. Okay.
Yeah, easy.
So this first board, after while I was in Germany, while we were working on the back-to-back documentary, I was in touch with a guy I met, Jacob, in Los Angeles, Blizzard of Oz, and he collects skateboards. I went to meet him in person a couple years ago and gave him some signed boards. Really nice dude. I think he's 6'6", and so we joke about our height, and he had some time in San Francisco, and he lives in LA. Him and his wife just got married in last year, all this stuff. So we're like pen pals. So he realizes from a photograph of me after 1998 Munster competition that he has seen my board online from that contest, and he bought it. So this is it.
Wow.
And so when you look and see me winning in 1998 up there, and I hold my board, you can see this sticker job from a distance. So he's like, "Bri, I think I have your board from Munster." And I'm like, "That's crazy, man," because I'm in Germany right now working on a documentary. I mean, that is some insane synchronicity, right? So yeah, it's funny. There was a wheel company at the time Rob Erickson did called Land Speed, and a toy machine. And it's funny to see this shape too, because I always wondered, like, what board did I ride when I was still 6'3", 6'4" back then?
Yeah. And
like, should I ride that shape
he's
now?
Just had it.
No, he just got it in the last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because he's just really into looking for boards online.
Who the fuck had that?
I forgot. I mean, we might have talked about it again. Hey, like I said earlier, I went over this on the phone with Jacob, and I'm not drunk, and I don't remember exactly the details. All I know is just because, again, I have so many things going on, and I'm in Chicago, I'm in San Francisco. It's hard to remember all out of these details, right? So, but yeah, he goes, "No, I insist I give it to you." I'm like, "No, man, you bought that off the internet. Like, you don't have to give me that board." And he's like, "No, I got to, you know." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll accept that." Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, I think it's ill.
Yeah. So I'll probably put it in some kind of double glass case, you know, because I think it's cool to see the grip tape. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm gonna look at the dimensions of this and see what it's like compared to some of the boards I ride, like my anti-hero shape right now.
Yeah.
So that's that one.
Dope. Yeah.
And okay, this is I just thought it would be kind of fun to I wanted to bring something extra on the show, you know? I can sit here and talk about life and drinking and all that shit forever, but I figured it's cool. So this is my first board, and at the end, we're going somewhere with this, right? And you know what I thought of is this is almost definitely screen printed. You know, so this is a drawing I did with Cray Paws. I don't know if you remember those. They're like little clay, sort of. They're clay, little crayons, and Ed Templeton. Ed did the cross hatching or whatever you want to call it in the background. So there's probably a black layer, and then red was screened over the black, and I just thought that was pretty cool. You know. This was at my mother's place for a long time, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And a couple of years ago, she said, "Brian, you might as well take this first board back. I'm getting older, and it's yours." You know, it was cool that you gave it to me. But so yeah, this is my first pro board, and I drew this on a piece of paper, or actually a brown paper bag. Excuse me, and sent it in an envelope to San Diego to Tomieto, or I sent it to Ed's house probably in Huntington. So that was cool. Ed did that. A snake that ate an egg, and then the owl caught it. And I don't know. Eyes sell skateboards. I don't even know if I was thinking of that.
Yeah.
Eyes, tits, and teeth. Those will sell boards for you. So yeah, that's my first board. I thought that was kind of cool. And then so after Toy Machine, I just brought in a couple girl boards. Oh yeah. This is a wild one. I asked my friends from the art department at Girl, aka the Art Dump, Eric, Anthony, and Herschel. I said, "Did one of you guys do this board?" And they said they didn't. Neither one of them. So thanks, Art Dump, whoever made this. I think at first they thought I might be freaked out. Do I even want to put this board out because it says Brian Anderson is dead? And my reaction, I think, was, well, the Beatles said Paul is dead, right? And freaked everyone out. So I'm still here 20 something years later after this board came out. So that was kind of a cool one. Yeah, again, just wanted to bring some of the history and to get to Anti-Hero. And this was, I remember, just a color scheme idea of mine. Really simple, as you can see. Again, Herschel and Eric don't remember doing this. But I really like this one. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always been involved in my graphics, and it's always been cool with all the companies approving them, asking to change a color tone or whatever. So that's that one. Oh, and then after Girl, we did 3D skateboards. Yeah, my friends Chris Hafner and Brad Saba and I, and we had Austin Gillette and Austin K with us. I mean, Austin Gillette and Austin K, Tom K, and Ben Cato in the beginning, Alex Olson in the very beginning. So this is Joe Roberts did this board graphic. Joe and I lived together a long time ago in San Francisco, and we still are remaining friends today. I think it's pretty cool. Little Fat Albert here. And I actually had a 3D sticker on it and peeled it off because I thought, man, I want to save one of my friend's graphics, So I think I was going to skate this, and I peeled the 3D sticker off. But thanks, Joe. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Chris. Bear. Good memories, man. E.T. Definitely E.T.'s eyeball up there hiding. I think if we were a bigger company, I would have been more weary of using such commercial things as E.T. and Fat Albert. But yeah, this was cool. And then this one, yeah. So that's why I kind of showed those boards, because this is my first Anti-Hero board, and I thought it was so cool of Todd Francis and Julian to think about all this and to put these medals on my neck that are Toy Machine, Girl, and 3D.
Wow.
Like, that's what I did in my life. And then I eventually went to Anti-Hero, and there's a parade for me and it's Anti-Hero. So of course the vehicle's broken down, and I mean, and I forget. Oh, the banner just BA18. I think Julian asked me to customize the license plate. I'm like, yeah, I was pretty drunk and like, I don't know. Yeah. And the ticker tape is really cool. And then because in the Anti-Hero Girl, Beauty and the Beast tours, we would do that wizard staff thing where you drink enough beers to go over your head, you're a wizard. I don't know. Really cool, huh? For landfills and wasting duct tape. But it was fun.
The shape is cool.
Yeah. This is a fun shape. I still ride it. And I brought it to 2 years ago. What is it? 2022. So 3 years ago, when we did the Supreme Anti-Hero collab and Cardiel and Julian were in town, I was like, hey, will you guys write on this? Because it's my first board. I don't really ask my friends to sign shit that much. So, and then I sent this to the Smithsonian because I gave them a bunch of boards to photograph. And that's why this Post-it is on here. It says, please send back or discuss on the phone. In case they wanted to keep it, I probably would have let them keep it. But yeah, there's a great book that I helped contribute to with the Smithsonian about skateboarding, Anyway, I just felt like having some color and telling some stories,
Yeah, yeah.
and also I genuinely wanted to show my appreciation for Antihero and Todd Francis, and that goes back to Instagram. I really appreciate my friends that speak out about things like ICE and all this bullshit. You know, people like Todd Francis who are active on Instagram. And so thank you to those people for spending time and publicly uh, discussing and speaking out about uh, all the horrible things that need to be worked on in this world and society. So I didn't bring these just to say that, but I sincerely do value and appreciate my friends like Sam Donaldson and Todd and everyone that works at Deluxe. You know, for real. I mean, it's just so cool. I'm so psyched on Antihero, and yeah, man, it's been awesome. And so the last one, wasn't trying to do this one on camera, but I don't know if I don't think I gave you this board, Angel, ever. Do you have this board?
No.
Okay,
But
cool.
of
Cause
course
this
I've
one,
seen it.
yeah, this one's for you.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah, Lance Mountain redrew this, photograph that Bryce Knights took of me. And, I'll never forget Mike Rafter also filming me. Thanks, Mike and Bryce, for this day at Hubba Hideout. And Lance Mountain, and it's cool that he put the lighthouse, me growing up in New England. So this is for you.
Thank you.
And again, I just thought it would be cool. Last night I was in New Jersey at our family house, just thinking I'm going to be here tomorrow. You know, what am I going to go over? And I wasn't planning on wearing this Baker hat, but fun to talk about Antihero, because that is what's going on with my life right now, you know, and it has been really fun to be out skating with people that are down to go out. I mean, when Nick and Blake Matthews were here for Nick's part a month ago, we were going out I was out of the house from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. for a week, and just, you know, 4 t-shirts in the backpack and a bunch of Yeti thermoses of water and electrolytes and just skating all day. You know, it's just really cool.
It's awesome to see that, you know, a lot of this conversation we talked about, I guess, struggle and overcoming it, but then we also talked about what's been going on. And I guess for me, it's awesome to see life after everything that happened, and you're still excited, and you're still like, you still have tons of projects, like everything just keeps going, you know what I mean? And it's inspiring, you know what I mean? And for people who are also like undergoing their own shit, it's like there's stuff after.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I had a lot of jobs before I became a pro skater.
Yeah.
You know, right down to the grocery store, Stop and Shop in Groton. That's where I learned how to tie a tie. I was just there. And I was in the parking lot going to get gum for my sister and paper towels for my mom's condo. So yeah, I'm glad that I got jobs early on. And that doesn't mean to say that, you know, people should have a job before they become an artist or a pro skater or a musician, you know, but I did, and I needed money to buy cassettes and CDs. So yeah, I dishwashed, but it is great to still be excited. And that's fun thing about playing guitar, you know, not having children or having a dog or a cat. Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits said that guitars are like little family members. And I got a few used guitars and one brand new one from a nice guitar shop. So I'm not only going to Guitar Center, people. Shout out to Russo Music in Asbury Park. No, and I have friends that are musicians and stuff like that. So I'm getting a lot of tips from them because I've always been so in tune, as a lot of us are with music. Oh, pardon the pun. But you know, big part of our lives, right? So that's fun, playing guitar. Oh my God. Learning pick harmonics and all this stuff. So that is fun. And again, you see my excitement and all these different things skateboarding, going out in the streets every day takes a lot, you know, with the sweaty shirts and breaking boards and injuring yourself. So haven't had a lot of time to stop and get super into working on a post. And I'm not making fun when I do that. It's like, it's a real thing. You know, I write on paper to compose. Some people have a burner account so they can post something, look at it, see what it looks like on their screen and think, and that's awesome, you know? But when you bring up all my excitement, I talk about this a lot, that I don't Instagram as much as a lot of people do. I don't know, man. It's just where I'm at. I never like to be like, screw that, it sucks. It's great, you know. But I think what I'm doing right now is, as I'm making, I'm make skate, go make skateboarding. I'm out there skateboarding in the streets, and in the end, I'm going to edit it all, you know. So if I just stayed dormant and worked on stuff at my dining room table, that would be awesome. But right now, it's nice weather. And so I'm going to skate until we change the clocks in November. And then I want to make paintings. You know, people ask me, how's your art? You making paintings? I'm like, I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
If I'd love to paint, but right now I write, you know, I write things on Post-its, stick them together and put them in my wallet so I don't forget. Poetry, ideas. Yes, I'm still writing a book. Yes, I said I was writing a book 10 years ago. I have so much stuff that I'm remembering from not being fucked up. So like, the book is only getting better. I have not been lazy about that. And, you know, I'm sure we're leaning towards wrapping up. We've been talking for probably an hour, but, you know, you said that it inspires people, that I keep going. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, right when I said that, I looked at this candle over there, is that my mother passed away on June 19th. And I just, I guess if we brought that up, you might ask me, how is that going? How does that make me feel and stuff? So maybe that's something that also helps people, not inspires, but could help, is not everybody was raised by their biological parents, obviously. And not everybody gets along with their biological parents, if they even know who they are, right? I did get along with my mother and father, give or take, high school, dyeing my hair pink and all this crazy stuff. So that was a really, really heavy thing, of course. But my mother was 95 years old. And after I got back from 4 weeks in Europe, finishing the documentary and showing the documentary in Copenhagen, I told my husband, I'm going to take 4 days off on Fire Island and walk in the sand, after being, you know, traveling Europe and being in all these airplanes. I took all these little flights, and then when I was on Fire Island, relaxing and actually getting upright physical activity after holding luggage and all this stuff, you know, I get out and extend my spine, and it's great. My sister told me that our mother went to the hospital for mild pneumonia, and I should probably come up to Connecticut, you know, East Groton's southeastern. So I said, yeah, I'm on Fire Island. I'll see you in 2 days. Because I knew my mom was, I say stable in quotations because it's not that she was ever unconscious or anything. And she did not have dementia at age 95. So for those that do love their parents, I would say you check in best you can. Don't feel guilty if you can't. But, you know, my sisters wrote some beautiful things about our mom for her obituary. And I was really lucky that I got to be with her in the last week and a half. So I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it, I guess, because, you know, it was really special. I cried a lot after I would be with her in her bedroom, giving her water, giving her soup. And then I'd go in the living room and have a moment and think of something and cry, and then maybe laugh with my siblings. But, yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's heavy. You know, I can't imagine the feelings that come with that. And
Yeah.
but I didn't want to bring it up because I'm like, it's just so heavy that I'm like, what do I even say about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you for being considering my feelings in losing our mother. Well, I mean, I can say that because my father passed in 2001, my sister died by suicide in 1984 at age 18, and my brother Peter died in 2019 of cancer. I lost a really good friend, Nikki Pierce, an old roommate of mine, Jake Phelps, Jeff Grosso, Alana Gabin, all these different people. Sorry for anyone else that I'm not immediately naming. Uh, but, when I mean, everybody's different, right? And I cry whenever I feel that I need to. I'm not ashamed to cry in public, but, you know, I'm not speaking of a persona for skateboarding or something, but being on the train, you have a persona. You don't want to get robbed. You don't want somebody to, look at you and be like, what's bothering them? You know what I mean? Like, so, so there's times where I'm not just going to cry anywhere because you have to protect yourself in life. That's a bit of a different story, but I believe it's related. Uh, and that being said, because have unfortunately experienced some sudden deaths. Let's put it that way. They were. Some of my friends were sudden. My father, not very sudden. He had cancer, and same with my brother. Um, so I think if you've lived an amount of time and experienced a certain amount of deaths, a kind of experience can come with that. And again, as I just said to you when I first spoke of it, I definitely had my moments just seeing my mom so ill and in bed where I would just get so choked up, be strong, leave the room, and kind of break down in tears. And then I could go on and talk about this for a very long time, but I knew I had to go back in her room and wanted to, not had to, but wanted to, as her son. I wanted to go back in there and wipe her mouth and give her more water. She's coherent. And some of my siblings, I don't think they'll be upset at me for speaking about this publicly. It's my mother. It's our mother. We loved her. We were very lucky to be near her, you know? So, yeah, yeah, heartbreaking's kind of a common saying. It was heartbreaking, but also she was 95 years old, and seeing her be in actual pain and trying to minimize it to us, I was like, yo, sorry to just say yo, but I mean, when I left her, I took a break after 7 days in Connecticut and I drove to Queens for 2 days, and she was in a lot of pain. And so I had said my own sort of goodbyes, and she said some beautiful things to me that I'll share at another time in a song or in my book or both. And some things you keep for yourself, right? um but yeah, I had seen her in pain, and we were moving her in bed, but I think this may not happen to everyone, but there's a kind of nurse instinct in me, I guess. That's just me, and that kicked in. And a few of my sisters are nurses, so that was extremely helpful. I mean, if you were alone or you lived through, I thought of people that lost loved ones in COVID behind a plastic partition thing. You think of all these other horrible situations. And again, where someone was just taken from you or as a freak thing. So, I don't know, man. I don't mean to sit here like preaching about how I process death, but I mean, it's good to talk about it, right? So that's
Yeah.
why we're talking about it. And I had luckily a lot of cool memories. And my sisters, two of them from California, came, and one, my oldest sister who lives in France, she came, and my mom said her name, acknowledged her, and we all got to say hi and bye to her. And then when my sister left and went back to the airport, my eldest sister Zoe, a day later, my mom passed in the early morning hours, and there was a level of relief for her. And yeah, I won't go too far just because it's not overly personal, but it's a lot. I mean, I'm not even gonna. I've cried so much that I can just talk to you about it right now, and I'm not even getting choked up. Yeah, how lucky to have that week and a half. Yeah. And yeah, again, I'll just kind of end it with, well, not end it, but I'll say that she was in pain. It hurt her to swallow eventually. And I will say that 2 days later, I went to do a give back event in New Jersey, in New Brunswick, with Chris Narocco and friends. And I told my friends this story a lot, and my siblings. I said, what am I going to do? I have to go be around these young kids and take selfies and sign boards and be on camera in 95-degree weather. And, how am I going to handle this? So I imagined my mom in a little rowboat, like a dinghy, in Maine, in Rockland, where she grew up. And I imagined her just right on the edge of the harbor. And I just thought of her as being there where she grew up. And so you have to do these little things to help yourself along, I guess my point. It's like having a pocket stone. I don't have one on me, but it's like I took a little piece of my mom and thought about her and put her up in the cloud. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I brought it up because it's a really big thing to lose one of your parents. And how do you cope with it? Well, you talk about it, you laugh, you cry. And if you don't have anyone to talk about, you write about it, and you make phone calls to talk about and find other people. There's plenty of bereavement places.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have friends and family. So I don't know. I hope that didn't sound strange the way I talked about it.
Not at all. Yeah, you have this ability to talk about things that have happened to you in an open way. And I feel like there's a lot to take from that. And thank you for always doing that in different areas of your life. And
you're welcome.
Thank you for coming here and sharing your story. And this conversation has been multifaceted and so many different parts to it. And just thank you. And I'm kind of the cliche thing to say, but I'm sorry for your loss. But it's also like it's amazing that she lived so long and that you had that week and that you were close to her. And there's so many positives at the same time. And yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll just say this: I'm not perfect, and I realize I do have regret in life. People say, like the song, "I did it my way." Regrets, I had a few. And that's the thing I'll kind of close on, and that's what's nice for me about no longer drinking is mistakes in the past and people that want to come talk to me and ask me. That's what I get out of no longer being fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And out to lunch, I call it.
Yeah.
And I don't even say that with like the utmost of strength. It's like whatever things I have to face now, I'm gonna have to walk through them.